wake up in the middle of the night and realize that the outfit you were plotting on was still in the hamper? Because that's what just happened to me. So I got up and threw that in the washer real quick. Um, I have like a super busy weekend and I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I don't even want to do anything. It started last night. And I just wish I could jump to Tuesday already because it's not going to stop until basically Wednesday. So, yeah, let's jump to Thursday. I just have a very busy couple of days coming up. But anyway, I wanted to come in here and address um, a comment that was put on my channel. And I just want to say this because I removed the comment. So, the person who wrote the comment, you already knew who I was talking about in the previous video. So you did not have to leave a comment, about the individual. And I just didn't like feel that that was necessary, but I understand how, it can be out here. So I removed the comment for this reason because I just did not feel the need to be messy in that way. And this was a person I unsubscribed from because of the vibration that they were on, the energy they were on, and just the way that I felt as I was listening to the content. So the reason I stopped listening is because I actually liked this person. I don't have a problem with her. I just am not on that anymore. It's not that I'm like better than it. I don't want to be on that. I don't want to be um, critical of women like that, or really anybody, and I really want to just mind my own business. I don't want to be in people's business. Excuse me. I don't want to be like suspicious of people's business or coming up with grand stories around what people do or what women in general do or what other people do in their relationships and things like of that nature. I just really don't want to be about that. And when you listen to certain things, you're susceptible of the programming that comes along with it. Unfortunately, there's this idea that programming is only something that you're susceptible to if it's through major networks like on cable television or through like major radio stations or just anything that's considered popular. But the reality is, anything you ingest is a program. Anything that you're reading, listening to, watching, it can just be a regular person. Like a lot of people get indoctrinated just by um, going to church or some kind of organized religious settings, and those people are just people. The reverend, the pastor, the minister, the imam, whatever they're all just people. They're not celebrities or something. Celebrities are just people too. The executives that put them on the platform are just people too. That's why y'all haters are corny with that Illuminati mess. Like, they're all just people. I hate to be the one to tell you, they're just people. Even the ones that are in weirdo cults and they're drinking baby's blood, guess what? They're just people. I can't control what they do because I'm not running in those circles. I'm not over them. But y'all don't really know what they're doing either. You're just in their business. I mean, if you really know what people are doing, just to make this clear, if people really knew what people were doing and they were doing all kinds of heinous things like that, then I would hope you would do more than just upload a video exposing it. I would hope that you would mobilize so that you could actually do something to bring those people to justice. But a lot of these, like, corny conspiracy theories, they only stay on the internet and they just sit here and program you into being paranoid about everything. When the truth is, you are in control of how you program yourself. But again, people are distracted, so they don't reflect enough to know that they can just turn the shit off if it really bothers you that much. See, like, you might say, hey, I never been to a Lady Gaga concert. I never been to see Beyonce, so I'm not about that stuff. But you watch these videos, all these corny conspiracy videos and Illuminati videos, you watch them. So you're still you're still watching them. Like, I don't know how else to put it. You might think you're on the opposition side of things, but it doesn't matter. You're still watching it, and you're still consumed by it, and you're still obsessed with it. And it's programming you. Why aren't you, trying to bring these people to justice if you really believe that they're doing all these things? And if you think that you can't bring them to justice because you're just a little peon, who are you, right? But it disturbs you, then you could just turn all of it off and go live your life. Like, honestly, I've always been like super into that. I think perhaps because of my background, like I was heavily in the arts growing up, and then I got into media, and I literally worked for programming and development for like a major network. I worked in marketing and advertising. I know that I'm not saying that nothing is true. I'm saying that I don't have enough evidence to support that it's true. But I understand how much the media can manipulate your mind. My problem has never been like so much about media manipulation. See, like, this goes back to the discussion I was talking about money. Advertisements cost so much money, like millions of dollars. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars on ad campaigns. So they're going to get you to consume, to purchase that product. And they don't have to do it by, sending you uh, hand gestures and covering their eyeballs, or like, I don't know which eye they cover. They cover their left eye or their right eye. I forget, but they just control you by sending you out the same message, the same image, the same thing over and over and over again. Like, every couple of minutes, you're going to get a commercial break, and they're just going to bombard you with ads. And it gets into your mind. You have to have control over your mind, whether you're on TV or reading a magazine, or you're on IG or Facebook or YouTube or anything else. If you're on a website, if you're on a blog site, if you're on a message board site, it's running ads. You, you, for me, it's like a shield. Like, I know at the end of the day, they just want my money. Like, they don't, you could say they want your soul, but, kind of, sort of, you know, kind of. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, material things is of this world, and, the energy that presides over this world, like, it's a very big energy. People call it like Lucifer or whatever, but um, they use material things. Like this energy uses material things, and if they can harness your energy, like disconnect you from your authentic life purpose, and have you so consumed with what's the latest outfit, what's the latest like fashion, what's the latest hair product, what's the latest, shoes, and have you buying those things. You're spending all your time going to work to make money so you could buy these things that you probably, your soul really didn't come here just to get. You understand? Then, yeah, you kind of did, sell your soul. But the thing is, it's not like some like definite state. Like you can always come out of that. That's like in the tarot. Um, the devil card is represented with, these two people are bound and chained to um this devil character, but I mean they're not really bound to him. I'm trying to, I want to make sure I get him. I think they're just bound to the box. But anyway, the point is that the chains are very loose, and that the people are not actually bound. They just feel that they are. They just think they are. They could take those chains off at any moment and be liberated. So all of that stuff with, you know, it's satanic and it's demonic and it's Illuminati and everything. Like, okay, but at the same time, what are you actually here to do? Like, what is your soul's purpose? What is your soul's mission in manifesting itself in the 3D to live this human experience? And if you're not willing to like disconnect from everything, then you're the culprit. It's not necessarily all these things, all these images. It doesn't matter what they do on the Grammys. Do y'all remember when that the homosexual guy and the trans person did that routine on stage, and they was doing all this devil stuff? It made me laugh because first of all, I was thinking about, oh my gosh, all these people are gonna go crazy on the internet. But secondly, it made me laugh because I'm like, these motherfuckers is over the top. Like, like they just so silly. Like to me, they're just silly. They just silly. It's like, okay, with the over the topness and all the weird devil shit, and like I just get I get a little tickled by it because it's like, man, I was just chilling. I just want to hear some music and watch these awards. Y'all is doing the most with all this extra stuff, like trying to be provocative. Like to me, um, to me, we're past that phase. Like, do you all remember when like um, was it Madonna like had like she kissed Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears? Like that was a moment. Like, do you Madonna got locked up for doing her like Blonde Ambition tour back in the day. Like, these are like things that were a little bit like more groundbreaking. And these people now are just, it's just like, so what? Like, okay. I'm so sorry to like veer off the point, but um if I could get back on track, like I don't even know if I can, to be honest with you, but the the person that I was talking about is not the point. I just was merely, I was real, what I was really getting at was that I had to unsubscribe because I didn't, I wasn't feeling the vibe. And it's my responsibility to remove myself from it. Now, I wanted to comment on some of the points that were made because I just completely and totally disagreed for all the reasons that I outlined in that video. But this is not about that individual. This isn't about me disliking somebody or anything like that. It's just certain things that I noticed, I picked up on, and I wanted to discuss. Unfortunately, and yeah, I do believe it's due to patriarchy, but so what? We're still responsible for ourselves. I do believe that a lot of women that are married, especially newly married women and women that have been married for a long time, but newly married women is just what I'm talking about here. They like to criticize other women, women that are unmarried. And sometimes they can even like look up to women that have been married for a long time, or they can try to pick those women apart too. But what I notice is like men don't do that to each other, not about stuff like that. Men will either mind their own business about each other, or they'll help each other build each other up, or they'll congratulate each other on what they are building. And then women criticize each other about, do you have a man or not? Oh, and if you do, what kind of man is he? Like, is he a young boy? Is he an old dude? Is he a dusty? Is he rich? Is he monogamous or is he a hoe? Just what kind of dude do you have, and nitpicking each other about stuff like that. And the reason I say it goes back to patriarchy is because the institution of marriage as it was originated was not about love, kindness, being like soulmates, for lack of a better term, or being friends. It just was on a different vibration, and it was all about material gains. So, like, a man was the only person who could own property, not women couldn't, okay? And he's got his land and he's got his livestock and his home and everything he's amassed. And who is going to get the cows when I die? Who's going to get my land? Who's going to get my wealth? It's just like a free for all until you establish some legitimacy, because the dude is going to be out there screwing everything walking. So, okay, here's a woman that you marry, and now she's your woman, and all the babies that come out of her vagina belong to you. These are your legitimate heirs, and they are the people that will inherit your wealth, especially like the oldest boy. Why? Because the girl is going to be married off so that she can breed for another dude. Okay? Like, if you if you're a woman, you should, I do want to drink my water and mind my own business, but I just feel like if you really understand what marriage truly is and you're a woman, you should not be cool with that. That does not mean that you shouldn't get married. I'm just saying we can change things, and we have. We have changed a lot of things. Okay? And I just want to say, sidebar on like black gender war level type shit. Black men, why is you even in the conversation? When have you niggas owned anything? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. Y'all were not even seen as human beings. Y'all were used to breed. Okay? And finally, Master allowed y'all to get married, and it really didn't mean shit because you didn't have anything. I'm talking about the institution of marriage, okay? And you haven't really owned anything ever since. So I'm not saying that black people shouldn't get married. And you know, when they say marriage is white people shit, it's a little bit correct. In this society, based on what, marriage, how it's defined, black people didn't have anything to pass down to any legitimate heirs. I mean, yes, these days, you know, you can buy a home and everything like that. So again, I'm not saying you shouldn't get married, but I'm talking about gender warriors and how they try to break down what a man's role is and what a woman's role is in a freaking marriage. Like, where are you getting it? To me, it's like, did you forget where the hell you came from? Because this does not apply to you, sir. It's time for us to make up our own constructs. Okay. And I used to be, um I'm still about, having my own constructs and my constructs gelling with my person. But I used to be into, like, radicalizing things and letting people should exercise whatever options they want within a marriage or family. And then I realized that everybody is not necessarily on the same page, and some people just want to be like predators, or they just want to, like, be pimps, or, stuff like that. So I had to kind of let go of that philosophy and go inward. So anyway, that was just a quick little sidebar because it's like, it's kind of hilarious to listen to a black American born male who's a descendant of slaves talking about what a woman's supposed to be doing. It's like, who made these rules? We're so confused, easily led astray. Lauren Hill, bars. Okay, like, come on, y'all. But yeah, I mean, that's why women pick each other apart about what do they have in their life and what can he do for you, and um, are you getting played? He's a is he a six-figure dude? Like, it really comes down to the idea that you don't have any ownership over yourself as a woman, and you don't have shit unless you have a man. And it's antiquated as fuck. It's also very disempowering, and it doesn't even work anymore. So that's where that essentially stems from. One thing I just want to put this out here really quickly. One thing that I learned from listening to that lady's channel was about the pimp and hoe culture, how prevalent it is, and how much it's like right in our faces in terms of media. Like, I kind of cannot unsee it at this point. I think she was pretty thorough in breaking that down. I do think she was off about certain things, like, for instance, saying that Beyonce and Jay Z is a pimp and a hoe um scenario. Like, that's just not true. Like, um I can't get into it, you know what I'm saying, but I don't think that Jay Z has Beyonce doing not a damn thing that she doesn't want to do. I just I just don't see it. I think they both get their life being the center of attention and thinking of themselves as the greatest entertainers and the greatest rapper, and being rich as fuck, and being, like, considered, black excellence and black elites, and um just all of that. Like, I think that they both enjoy that shit. So that's all I had to say about that. Like, I think that people get a little carried away. Like, now, as far as things like Krishan and Blueface and whatever other kind of, people are on social media and reality TV. I found that interesting. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely some pimping going on. But I wouldn't have necessarily knew what to call it until she pointed it out. So that was something I did learn from the channel. But at the end of the day, I think it's not applicable to most people's situations. Like, yeah, there are pimps out here and there are prostitutes out here, um, in many forms, but why apply that to people that are just in a basic ass relationship? I don't see the correlation in that. So anyway, like, I want to segue into something else because when I saw the comment, and I do have some thoughts about who left the comment, naming the person, but I don't want to get into all that. I just want that person who left the comment to understand that I have some thoughts about you. But but anyway, one particular thought is that that was messy. Like, I didn't want to leave that comment there. Um, but it's not like I've never been messy on here. Like, I used to be very, very messy. Um, and maybe my last video was a little messy, but oh, whatever. I wasn't trying to be messy, and I want to talk about that because I think that happens a lot and it starts a lot of problems on social media is like people unintentionally being messy. And the reason it's unintentional is because, like, it's unintentional because it was not the intention, but it was still messy because of the outcome. Like, they contributed to it with their content, whether it was a tweet or a post or a video, they still created it. And what came from it was some mess. So they were being messy. Now they might not have meant to be messy, is my point. And that has happened to me so much on my experience on YouTube. And some people, they just ride with the mess. They're just here for the mess. They rolling around in the mess. And I don't even like have a problem with that. I've always kind of had a problem more so with myself because it's like there will be some mess, but that's not what I meant to do. So to some people, I would look like I was straddling a fence, and that's not really my. It was that's not it either. It's just I don't know if it's like the Libra rising in me, but I'm not a person that is super confronting. Like, if I am going to confront you, it's going to be personal. Like, I will personally come and have a conversation with you. But I'm not really trying to be super confrontational just in general. Like, I'm just and I also get kind of tired. Like, I'm like, I don't know if it's the ADHD, but I just get over the shit. I'm like, okay, let's move on. And I expect people to move on too. And they don't. And I'm literally, genuinely confused by it. So I'm just like expressing that in general. Like, it would always kind of baffle me. I'm honest. Like, it's not me playing a game. I'm being for real. It always kind of baffled me that people would still be on some shit. Like, you said this back in the day. I'm like, yeah, I did. Okay. Like, I don't, why is this a thing? Like, I don't know. For me, You could straight up not like me, and I know that you don't like me, and I will still view your content if I find something enjoyable about it, if I find something informative about it, if I find something interesting about it, I will still watch it. And I remember, like, this is a long time ago, but this lady used to be on me about that. She knows who she is if she still um comes around here. But she used to get on me about that shit. She'd be like, "Why do you watch them? Why do you support them? They don't like you." And I was like, "What the fuck is she doing?" It would be like, I don't even know how to, I don't know how, I don't know. I don't know how to have this conversation because I don't care if anybody on here likes me. Like, I don't care. Like, that is incidental. Like, it doesn't matter to me if anybody likes me. I'm just watching the content. That's it. Like, when I turn it off, it's over. Like, mm, I watch a variety of stuff on here, like most people probably do. So I could watch a video about some, black YouTube drama, and then I could start watching a video about toe yoga, and then I could go watch like a bunch of music videos, and then I could go, watch something about like zip lining. Like, I just don't care. Like, when it's over, when the video is over, I'm done. I'm just done. Um, so similarly with the lady that did all the interracial stuff, same thing with her. Like, I'm not saying that she should like me or anything. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I was always surprised by the people that gave a fuck. Like, okay, so I made some videos talking about her. So what? Like, I don't understand. Like, I didn't make any. First of all, I almost said something. First of all, she's like an attention seeker anyway. So, I'm not gonna sit here and say she likes it, but it's kind of giving that. But like, I never said anything um extremely damaging, like hurtful. I don't think so. And if I did, I apologize to her if I did. I That's what I'm trying to say. It was never my intention, like, I'm about to hurt you. Like, it's not personal. It is not personal to me. Nothing that goes on here is personal to me. But what I learned over many years of messiness on here is that people take things very personally. All right. There's only one time I took things hella personally. Sidebar. You know what I learned recently is that my I have hypermobility and that my fingertips are double jointed. Like, so somebody recently brought to my attention that my fingertips were different. And I was like, "What do you mean? Doesn't everybody's fingertips do that?" And he was like, "No." So then I asked my sister, I was like, "Do your fingertips do this?" And she was like, "No, can you please stop? That's freaking me out." Like, I was like, "Really? Wow." So it got me kind of researching, like, I'm like, am I double jointed or what's that about? So I started researching it, and then I found this thing for like hypermobility tests, and I could do most of the things that make somebody hypermobile. And yeah. Anyway, I was just playing with my fingertips just now, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. Um, mm, yeah, y'all, that's what I think it is. I think that my attention span just like it doesn't interest me enough to have any kind of sustained feelings about anything that goes on YouTube. And so because of that, I just kind of expect or I assume that other people feel the same way, but they don't. Um, Cause you see, like, I mean, I don't even really care about talking about this anymore. Like, I'm talking about my fucking fingers and shit. But anyway, mm, yeah, there was one time I took something personal, and it was because I actually knew the lady. Like, I knew her in real life, like five senses, 3D reality. Like, I knew her, and she was talking shit about my man at the time. I didn't like that shit. So, you know, I did what I did to deal with her, just to deal with her. What I knew that, somebody might watch it and feel a way about it. So anyway, I just want to be like I'll be candid. Like what I did was she ran an anonymous channel and I put her image out there so that people saw what she looked like. She was no longer anonymous. And in my opinion, I felt like, well, she is talking shit about me and my family for no fucking reason. Like, for real, you're not even, no one's coming for you, and you talking real crazy. And I feel like that's stupid. Like, why would you do that when you run an anonymous channel and I am the only person who knows who you are? So, I put her on blast, and it was not like my, greatest moment. It's not one of my greatest hits. Um, I did it. And it created like a lot of messiness where like other people were involved, and I was like, but I don't even know you. So, I feel like me and the actual person squashed it relatively quickly. But the other people involved was like still in their feelings and were in their feelings for years. It was like, really though. I'm just being honest, like I never really understood that. But I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't really feel like there was a whole lot that about that could have been avoided. I mean, I could have made a different choice, but I also feel like, you know, that was the choice I made. So what can I really say about that now? Like, just like a petty, immature situation all the way around. So that's that. And I don't know, it kind of seems to me like dudes get over that shit a lot quicker than women. I don't know why that is. I'm trying to like process that right now. Like, why do women harbor things like that? I mean, women, we do have that memory thing going on where we just don't ever forget nothing. But, I don't know. It seems like women don't squash beef. That's like a thing I noticed. Or women create beef where there's not beef. Like, it could just be a disagreement or a difference of opinion or a heated debate. And that could be it. It could be over, but they don't do that. Like it's like no, it's on now, bitch. Yeah, somebody is going to like see red or someone's going to, draw blood. Like it's not over until somebody, someone's gonna have to like back down. And for me, I will happily back down because like I said, I'm already over it. And I noticed another thing with that, like if you're like someone who kind of avoids conflict, some people can't handle that. Like they'll get more mad. They're like, "No, confront me." And, and uh sometimes it's just like, aren't you over it? Like aren't you bored? Aren't you tired? I am, like I'm just over it. Anyway, I know I'm rambling, but that's pretty much how I feel most of the time. Any of the videos I made that anybody felt any kind of way about, like after I know like as I'm talking, it doesn't really connect, but after I made the video, I'm done. Like I don't have anything else until my interest gets peaked again. Like I have to get inspired again, and then I'll act on that inspiration. So it might seem like, oh, you keep making videos about this person or that person, but it's not really like that for me. You know, sorry, somebody is like riding a motorcycle outside and they're just being extra. Mm, yeah, I don't have nothing else to say about that because I don't really have too many feelings about anything or anybody on YouTube. Again, the only person I had some kind of personal thing with was just because I knew the person personally. Outside of that, I don't really have any personal stuff with anybody on here. If I don't really know you, then I don't really have a thing. Unless you like harassed me. Now, if you like harass me and you know who you are, if you harass me, I mean for real, harassed. Not like, oh, you made some videos disagreeing with me. Like, no, you harassed my fucking ass. Especially if you took it off the platform. Like I'm seeing you popping up on other platforms. Just at that point I'm like, yo, can you just leave me alone? Like, I mean for real, like just leave me the fuck alone. Like I don't like I understand the energy, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't understand my energy. Like I don't care. Like I'm so beyond it. Like when YouTube before the app, like when YouTube was like just on the computer, man, once I turned once I put my laptop down, once I fold it back down, I am somewhere else completely. And it just I would never understand people harboring anything. And it wouldn't be until I opened it back up and I get back on the page and I see the comments or the inboxes, stuff like that, then it would be like, oh, okay. But when it's over, it's over. like I just, if I really tell people what be going on in my mind, maybe they'd actually leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, no. It would be like a jolt to my system because I'm like so in outer space. I'm not even thinking about any of that shit. And I get back on here and it's like blowing up. I'm like, oh, like what? Oh. And I like, for me, I'm a freezer, like fight or flight or freeze. Like I'm a freezer and I'm a flyer. Like I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to say, but I'm about to leave though. Like to me, fighting is not my first instinct. Um, I do have a temper, so that is different from um like being confrontational though. A temper is something you cannot control. So, mm, like a temper is actually very scary. I don't like to lose my temper because I don't know what I'll do. You understand? I don't know what's gonna happen. That's not good. It's not good. Oh, I didn't. That's what I meant to say. The person that the last video that I was referencing in the last video, it was her and this other lady. I don't want to name any names because it's just the principle of it. But I really adored these two ladies because of their ability to access their anger. Like they freely could express their anger on here. And I just appreciate that. I think because that's not something that I easily access. Um, I could be angry, but I definitely have blockages in terms of expressing anger. Like I don't express it well. Like I said, I think I'm too busy trying to avoid losing my temper. And that's probably why I do have a temper, to be honest with you. Like I'm not violent. You understand? But I do have a temper. Those that is something I want to be like clear about. So it's like, well, what do you mean by that? It means that if I get to a certain point, I could, theoretically, I could do anything. Okay. Like that's what I mean by that. Now, like in general though, I'm not like, bitch, what? I'll fuck you up, blah blah blah. Like I'm not that kind of person. I'm not gonna like be yelling and aggressive. It's just not really me. In fact, I can come across as very like Bambi-esque. Um, but if my temper is activated, like I could definitely terrify you. Um, and that's just the truth. Like I'm not proud of that. Like I actually don't like it at all. But I know that I know myself. I'm old though. Like at this point, like I'm not trying to wreck. Um, yeah. So anyway, like my basic point was just to come on here and say like I don't have any problem with anybody. I just am trying to be more intentional about the type of content that I listen to. And when it comes to stuff like that, I just had to disengage from it because I feel like the vibration is just not it does it's a mismatch for me. It's a no for me, dog. Like I just can't do it anymore. People are way too into other people's business, making assumptions about other people's stuff, projecting onto other people. And to me, it's only signals to me that the person making the assumptions is not really fulfilled in their own life. Now, like, that is kind of like me getting in their business, right? But that's why I said I got to unsubscribe. Okay. But as far as who the person is and all of that, we ain't even got to do all that. If you got it, then you got it. And if you didn't, then so, like, you don't need to know.